Hello everyone and welcome to a video on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, I'm the host of Constructive Criticism, and this one's going on the podcast feed because today we're doing a Tech Talks. And we're not doing our normal Tech Talks. So for those who don't know, Tech Talks is videos that I do where I go over a deck and I look at the technology between different deck lists. But this week, I want to do a Tech Talks on two decks that are making a comeback, or so I hope. So, we just had our most recent MTGO 5.0 Deck Dump. This happened on May 2nd. I think it's May 5th now, because yesterday was Star Wars Day, so happy Star Wars Day to everybody. But today I want to talk about Blue-White Control and Golgari Midrange, because both of these decks had 5.0s recently. Both of them happened in the 5.0 Deck Dump on the 2nd. So let's start with Golgari Midrange, and I want to talk about the new cards and why these new cards might make it viable for these decks to make a comeback. So in Golgari, I'll just read the deck list first. We have 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Merfolk Branchwalker, 4 Wildgrowth Walker, 4 Jadelight Ranger, 3 Midnight Reaper, 2 Ravenous Chupacabra, 3 Massacre Girl, 3 Deveril Rogue Shadow Mage, 1 Karn Scion of Urza, 2 Vraska Golgari Queen, 2 Vivian Reed, 2 Liliana Dead Horde General, and 1 Vraska Relic Seeker. This deck has 1 Vraska's Contempt as its only spell. We have 8 Forests, 1 Karn Bastion? I don't know how to say that word. I hope I'm saying it right for the listeners at home. 4 Overgrown Tomb, 7 Swamp, 4 Woodland Cemetery. We have 4 Duress, 2 Assassin's Trophy, 1 more Drevel, 3 Thrashing Brontodon, 2 more Vraska's Contempt, 1 Carnage Tyrant, and 2 Fine Finality. So, a lot looks to me, this is just my opinion, like a lot of the sideboard cards are in the main deck, a lot of the main deck cards are in the sideboard. But, that's fine. So, the most interesting thing that we see here is Massacre Girl, Devril, I'm never going to say that name right, Liliana, and the land, Karn's Land. So, what is happening here? So first of all, the Peripheral land, being able to play that in your Explore creature deck, that's big game. I get that. That's a big appeal. I like that addition. It really lets you pressure people in different ways. Massacre Girl is another way to have kind of a board wipe with a 4/4 creature left around. So I can see this being a big get for this deck. Liliana and Vraska have had a lot of talk, which is better. I like that this person's playing both of them. I think that what I've seen from Liliana, Dreadhorde General, is that she really is as good as people are talking about. You know, her ability to, make the other person sacrifice 2 creatures, you draw a couple cards if you have some creatures left. A really good example of this deck, for example, is if I have, a Llanowar Elves left over from earlier gameplay, I am able to sacrifice that Llanowar Elves to recoup value now that I don't need it anymore. If I have a Midnight Reaper in play with this, I get to draw 4 cards and lose 2 life, and really pull ahead of my opponent while also keeping the board relatively clear. Ravenous Chupacabra is the same way. I've already killed one of your creatures. Now I'm going to make you sacrifice more creatures while I draw cards off of my Ravenous Chupacabra. So it fits really, really well with Dead Horde General. I really get the appeal. My biggest complaint with this deck is that it isn't playing enough interaction for me. I think that that's easily fixed. I think that you don't have to play all of these Planeswalkers. There's 11 Planeswalkers in this deck. You could tone that down a little bit. Although I do get it. I get the appeal when you think about the Liliana's being able to clear the board, Massacre Girls being able to clear the board. It makes you want a bunch of Planeswalkers in play, so there's a lot of power there. But I do think that a couple Fine Finalities in the main, along with some Disruption, is a good way to start here. The Rogue Shadow Mage, having 4 in the 75, just goes to show the power of this card. This card's a little bit better than I thought it would be. It just sits there for as long as you want it there, and it makes it so that it's basically a mind draw that has upside beyond the mind draw aspect of it. And if you want it to be more than a mind draw and you want it to make them discard that additional card and not have it sit around, you can definitely do that. And it has done that a lot from what I've seen of this card so far. So I've also been pretty impressed with it. Is all of this enough of a reason not to play Hydroid Graces? That's kind of the real question. I'm not sure. I think that this deck got a lot of sweet new tools that really make up a good portion of what the blue was doing to begin with. but it's hard for me to see a world in which this many planeswalkers is correct, and there's and you don't need blue. I'm not sure. I like it. I like the direction things are going. I like that people are trying everything. And Golgari, I know this isn't the only 5.0 that it got. It's the one I could find, but I've seen people posting pictures of their 5.0 decks with Golgari that play Carnage Tyrant and that play spells still. But one of the things that's really good is Liliana Dreadhorde General might be a really good way to not have to play blue, make your mana a little bit better, hopefully make your matchup against something like mono red and the white decks a little bit better, and kind of go from there. But yeah, I think that Golgari having a 5.0, trying out all these new cards, that's something sweet, something to look forward to, and something that you should keep your eye on. The next deck that I want to talk about is Blue-White Control. So this deck, I'm just going to read the deck list. We're playing 1 Narset, 2 Teferi, Time Raveler, 3 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, 1 Ugin, 1 Righteous Blow, 4 Syncopate, 1 Blink of an Eye, 1 Dovin's Veto, 3 Absorb, 3 Chemist's Insight, 1 Settle the Wreckage, 3 Time Wipe, 1 Commence the Endgame, 4 Seal Away, 3 Search for Escanta, 2 Prism Realm. 26 lands with 3 Azorius Guildgate, 1 Blast Zone, and 1 Field of Ruin. We have 1 more Field of Ruin in the sideboard, 2 more Righteous Blow, 2 more Dovin's Veto, 2 Narset Reversal, 2 Deputy of Detention, 2 Elite Guard Mage. I have not seen this card before. 1 Settle the Wreckage, 2 Mesmerizing Benthid, and 1 Commence the Endgame additional on the board. This deck is playing a lot of new cards. I haven't even seen Elite Guard Mage before. This card's 2 and a white and a blue for a 2/3 flying human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, gain 3 life and draw a card. So it's funny, the deck is playing Time Wipe, right? And you might say, well, you're not playing any creatures. I mean, why would you do that? And if you look at things like Deputy of Detention and Guard Mage and Benthid in the sideboard, it makes a lot of sense why you might do that. This deck has a lot of ways to win the game, between Ugin, between Teferi, between Commence the Endgame. Tons of ways to win the main deck. Get access to Prison Realm, in addition to other things. 3 Search for Escanta. This is a deck that I'm a huge fan of. I love Blue-White Control decks. This one's doing a lot of things. It's got a ton of Wrath effects on different parts of the curve between Settle the Wreckage and Time Wipe. It's doing a lot, and I think that it could be well positioned right now. The question has always been, why not play the black? Why not play the 4 mana, kill every card, kill everything? And I think the truth is that if you just want better mana, you can play Blast Zone, you can play more Planeswalkers, things like that. That's not a bad reason to try and do this. I would be excited if this deck was a thing again, and I got to play this over Esper Control, so I didn't have to, worry about my mana as much. And yeah, I think that Commence the Endgame, huge boon. This card's a little bit better than I think I thought it was when I first read it. The fact that it can't be countered has actually been pretty relevant, and something that you should definitely think about when playing this deck. But Blue-Eye Control, definitely want to keep an eye on. Putting up this 5.0, I think I saw somebody else hit Mythic with it. Deck might be better now that you have these really powerful 3 mana Planeswalkers plus Blast Zone. It definitely gives you a reason to consider playing this. Prism Realm being 3 mana instead of 4 mana for your mid-game removal spell that also deals with Planeswalkers. You're going to take that, and you're going to be happy with it. So that is going to be it from me this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/ccmtg. I want everybody to know that even though we have the recent changes on the show, those benefits are going to get better than ever. Tell me about what decks you hope can really make waves in this new standard format. This list has 4 Syncopates in it. 4 Syncopates. That's so many. There's a ton of counterspells in this deck. Dovin's Veto, big, huge get for control decks, things like that. So I would love to hear what people are trying, what they hope might lift up and become part of this huge, amazing standard format. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys all next week with another video here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out the deck text and the other podcasts, as well as the rest of the network over on constructorcriticism.com. We'll see you guys all next week with another video.